ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for The Passage, Season 1, Episode 4. Whose blood is that? Now, the episode starts off with Anthony. Well, it's about Anthony. Each episode ends up being about one of the characters. So today's episode was about Anthony, which already had me thinking that he was going to die. Anthony has a cool bond with Amy, and that's her friend. It sucks because he's actually turning. He's turning, and she knows that something's wrong, but everyone keeps lying to her and saying that everything's okay. She gets really nervous and anxious. She's been in the same room forever at this point. And that's when Brad develops a plan to at least get them out of the room. He decides, okay, he needs to talk to the doctors, and they've come up with a plan where she can go outside. They're going to create this treehouse for her. And I already knew it was a two-stage plan. The treehouse is to, one, get her outside, fresh air, but two, to make sure that they could see where they are. It was genius. It was genius because she even eventually played along as well. She was able to finesse some binoculars, some binoculars, and that they're such a good duo. Shauna keeps messing with Agent, what was the agent's name? Agent Clark. And Shauna's actually trying to warn him that, hey, someone's going to expose this place. What are you doing? Anthony and Amy keep passing notes back and forth. He keeps trying to, say that everything is fine. There's this other agent who is clearly being manipulated by one of the vitals. Is it the vitals or the virals? One of the virals. It's bad. It's bad because he looks like he's going to be on the edge. He actually ends up turning on them. He actually ends up saying that he took a vial of the blood, Fanning's blood, and that he hid in the place. All the information on the place will be released if he doesn't get a helicopter out of there. I'm thinking, okay. Anthony, throughout this episode, he's starting to feel different. He went from feeling super strong to slowly starting to decay, because that's what this place does. I mean, that's what the virus does. It kills you to bring you back. Just like how vampires who were once humans, that's how they operate. They have to die to become vampires. But we're not calling them vampires because vampires is played out, and other franchises have already called it vampires. And Anthony... So we go from Anthony to Clark. Clark and Dr. Major... Was her name Dr. Major Nicole? I think maybe. And we'll call her Dr. Major. She's trying to figure out, why did Clark decide to back out of the plan of euthanizing Shauna? He talks about how he got an order to do so. Now we see how Clark got in there in the first place. How Clark got in the first place. Anthony, how he got there in the first place. Apparently, Anthony was dating a married woman. I know, I just want to condense this. He was dating a married woman. He didn't know she was married at the time. She was supposed to be like a realtor to go and help him out to sell this place. And she was saying how his house, clearly, even though it's great for a couple, he has it set up like a bachelor pad. No commitment, a short time stay. His bed was in the corner instead of in the middle. It was just a lot of little things, a lot of simple things that I'm thinking, oh wow, this actually makes sense. But clearly she's hitting on him too. While all of that's going on, we have Brad's wife, and her name is Lila. Is it Lila or Leela? I'm going to say Lila for now. And she's there with Leanne, and they're there with that reporter who's going to put this information out. The reporter already has everything set up and has the information flowing, going to do a live interview. It's going to be big. And I said, she's not going to make it. And she didn't. They killed her. Yep, they killed her because they they can't have that information flowing. That's what happens. And this happens in real life. Some of these reporters get clapped because they know too much, or they're going to expose something that's too big. There's too much money at stake. Too much money at stake. Now, unfortunately, Anthony, he's starting to seize, and there's this new treatment. Because he's young enough and strong enough that they're thinking maybe this new treatment could work. It kind of reminds me of with CAR T cells, where you take the infected cells, you remove it, you treat it, and then put it back in the body to heal the other cells. It sounds like the same principle, but it's not going to work because simply they didn't have enough time. They didn't have enough time, and their plan just wasn't going to work. Now, Amy notices that there's someone with a gun on the roof. That's not supposed to be the case at that facility. And that's when Brad, he pulled her down so fast to protect her. I said, some of this isn't acting. Because the way how they're just pacing this stuff has me feeling like, this feels real. This feels real. If someone said sharpshooter on the roof, the first thing I would think is pull the person right next to me on the ground to make sure that they don't get hit. And then Brad's trying to convince Amy, we're going to have to make a run for it. You see Agent Clark there, we need to get over there. And Amy wasn't really for all of that, but she decides, you know what? If you're saying this is what we have to do, this is what we have to do. Remember, Brad said, stay behind me. When I tell you that Amy booked it, and Brad was like, Amy's... He was going to tell her to slow down for the third time, but she was going so fast. He was looking like, wait a minute. Now this doesn't make any sense. I'm the one with training. Where is she going? She was moving. Now they have Anthony in this tub, this ice tub, to cool down his temperature because his body, he was skyrocketing, which is dangerous because he easily could have died from his organs liquefying. A lot of people don't realize that's what's happening. But he's having the entire time, he's having these dreams about the girl that he loves, that he was in jail for allegedly killing. He didn't actually kill her. She didn't tell him that she was married. She definitely seemed off to me and sporadic, but now I know why. She was in an abusive relationship. She was abusing drugs to compensate for that. And when she finally told him, he was hurt and pissed because she lied to him. And because of that, he was like, I need a minute. I need a moment. And she ended up killing herself. She took a bunch of pills, she drank, and she killed herself. But she had a bruise on her face, and her husband called, and all of it just made it seem like her rich husband would frame this guy. And that's exactly what happened. I felt so bad. So bad. Brad decides that he's going to offer up his services in order to get the shooter down because he is an expert interrogator. And Clark said... And Brad, now he makes his way upstairs. She's talking to the agent. Remember, everyone was communicating with the rogue agent through walkie-talkie. The line stayed open. So Clark was hearing everything that Brad was saying. And unfortunately, Clark got suspicious because Brad was saying, look, I know what's going on downstairs. And excuse me, let's work together. Let's work together to take them down. That helicopter would have been here already if they wanted to do that. We can do this another way. And I'm thinking, Brad is doing the twofold thing. He could always say that he was just going and being a good interrogator, but if this works, he could bust out Amy. Amy is greeted by Shauna for the first time, which is scary because that means Amy is getting closer to turning. But to turning into what? We still don't know yet because I didn't read the books. And Amy's smart. She said, show me your real face. Because Amy's tapped in. She can already kind of read their minds. Shauna said, you know what? Just give in. It's a lot easier if you give in. I said, Shauna, you need to tell her to not give in because Shauna was trying to show that we have similar backgrounds. She was like, my mother, had her issues too because she knew Amy's mom killed her. Well, overdose. Okay, whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. I don't trust them. They killed her mom. I don't care what anyone says. They killed her mom. Now, Clark goes and shoots and kills the rogue agent and tells Brad, don't you ever get any, weird ideas like that again. Anthony, who I was rooting for, he's getting weak. He's getting really weak, and it's only a matter of time before he dies. He ends up dying because Fanning was messing with his mind, and he died when when he replayed the death of his girlfriend, because it was just his time. Fanning was waiting for him. Fanning was showing how you keep blaming yourself, but it's not your fault, and you don't have to die. You can live and fight another day. He was saying, how am I supposed to do that? Well, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, he gets reborn. He gets reborn. He turns and he goes and kills one of the scientists that were working on him. The bad part is he was so close to the other lead scientist that the blood from, I don't know if it was Anthony's blood or the other scientist's blood that got in him. Clearly, the other scientist ended up not getting infected as far as we know. But I don't know. I like this show. Not too many people really watch my review, but maybe as the show progresses, it's only been the 4th episode, things will change. Maybe it'll pick on. I hope so. I do like it. I like it mainly because of the bond between the agent and the young girl. That's my favorite part. So then we move. So that was the end of it. I wanted to do it just very condensed, very concise. Now, one more thing. There will be a new Romie Whispers ASMR video. I thank you all for watching. If you didn't watch my video from last week of me doing the role play, please tune in and check that out. It's me playing a game store employee doing a tutorial on a couple of games Nintendo. Well, just some knowledge about the games and a tutorial from the Nintendo Switch. Thank you.